Pandemic litter everywhere. How many have been washed into the storm drains? Pandemic pollution. Every parking lot you come to. Pandemic litter. Every parking lot you can possibly think of. They always get thrown down on the ground. A form of pollution. Well, I know what that is. The U-100. Great parking job there, people. Great parking job. Take a parking space up, why don't you? At least the one that was in the parking lot wasn't blocking the sidewalk. Love to be able to use the sidewalk, but it's blocked. 3 out of 4 cars parked facing the wrong way. I don't understand that. People parking in wheelchair ramps. E-bikes in the middle of the walkway, blocking access to a wheelchair ramp. These things need to go. The wire rats have been out. Go ramble for a while. See you later. I'm glad to see they put a bolt down there.
She got to run from man to man.
People would come by and turn the damn thing 90 degrees. The better light of the afternoon sun. What's that street address here? 1091 Euclid. If this sidewalk don't get fixed soon and I get it like this and I fall over and hurt myself, what is it? My fault because I'm using a sidewalk? Can you say lawsuit? Somebody. Who? I'm not sure. Karen walking up the street there wearing a mask told me I should keep my opinions to myself. Well, it wasn't an opinion, it was a fact. I never wore a mask when I was outside. Boy. Three out of 4 cars parked facing the wrong way. I don't understand that. Not good sign. Not a good sign at all. Steam coming out. Looks like the web slinger's been around. Interesting art. Quality control music.
Stolen firearm. Deputies say 4 ounces is 4 times the amount needed for felony trafficking charges. Under arrest is Tyrone Simmons, Kira Meredy, and Gary Horn. Deputies charge each of them with trafficking in meth, as well as possession and weapons charges. Deputies say more charges could be taken against Gary Horn because of his federal record for trafficking in drugs and gun charges as well.
So Mr. Horn was on federal probation for guns and drug charges already.
All 3 are locked up in the Coweta County Jail without bond. In Coweta County, Doug Evans, Fox 5 News.
Atlanta police make an arrest in a deadly shooting from March. Police took Isaiah Nichols into custody Monday in Lithonia. Detectives say the 20-year-old shot and killed Claude Lee Jean-Pierre on March 25th. Officers found the victim suffering from gunshot wounds at a gas station on Fairburn Road in southwest Atlanta. Nichols is now charged with felony murder and aggravated assault. The family
with about 220 perpetrators. That number grew to more than 1,100 charges in 2018, with nearly 675 perpetrators. Numbers for 2020 are slightly down from that, officials believe, because cases went unreported during the pandemic. GBI Director Vic Reynolds says the task force helps the state combine forces to protect a critical population.
We have not only a legal obligation, but a moral, ethical obligation to make sure we're protecting the most vulnerable members of our society, and that certainly includes our seniors and particularly our disabled adults.
King says isolation can make older people more vulnerable, and that's why it's important people look out for their relatives and community elders.
stay in touch.
Alex Whitler has more on the search for the gunman from Atlanta Police Headquarters.
A really scary wake-up call this morning. That 67-year-old woman was asleep at the time she was shot. Henry Aaron Avenue blocked off with yellow tape as police scoured the street for clues early Tuesday morning. Around 2:30, police say they got a call of shots fired into a home. One woman in her 60s was hit in the arm and her abdomen.
Right now, it looked like it might have been about 5 or 6 people. Her sister, 2 children, and a son. The son is in his mid to late 30s. No one else in the home was injured.
No word on if those other adults were the intended target, but we know the woman in her 60s was taken to Grady Hospital in stable condition.
It appears that someone fired from outside on the street inside of the home. We have investigators down at the hospital interviewing the victim. As I said, she's in stable condition. We also have investigators out here on the scene trying to determine why this house was targeted.
Police are also working to determine whether this was a drive-by shooting or if the suspect walked up to the home and fired shots. Of course, the big question is why. Others inside of the home at the time of the shooting tell police they don't know who would want to shoot that woman. Police do believe it's just one suspect out there, and you're encouraged to give them a call if you have any information about this. I'm Alex Whitler reporting at APD headquarters for Fox 5 News.
Authorities say a UPS truck even delivered a package containing more marijuana while they were conducting a search of the home. 3 suspects were arrested.
Well, new tonight, the store committing their crime. News Edge reporter Doug Evans has more on the investigation tonight.
Investigators here at the Griffin Police Department say that the break-in happened overnight, June 6th into June 7th. We're talking about hospital discount drugs here in Griffin. It's located on 8th Street. Investigators say the 2 men broke into the store, hopped the counter, and then went straight to the shelves where the medication is kept.
And you could tell when they were searching that they were looking for something very specific. The only thing we know that they had gotten out of the store now was cough syrup with codeine, but we're still waiting on more information from the pharmacy.
Arguably the most powerful sheriff in Georgia, president of the Sheriff's Association, Oval Office guest. But don't ask the Banks County Sheriff if he really lives in Franklin County.
I'm in Banks County. Take your pictures, do whatever y'all want to from the public road. Don't get on my property.
The question of where Sheriff Speed lives has been argued for years. Speed lived and voted in Banks County for years before he ran for sheriff. His key evidence was this 2000 survey showing the approximate county line bending around his property. It was drawn by his wife's uncle, who was a professional surveyor. During his sheriff's race in 2012, a local Banks County family challenged his residency in court. A judge ruled in Speed's favor.
We raised he as an illegal voter.
6 years later, another challenge. 2018, State Representative Dan Gassaway lost his re-election bid by 2 votes. He sued, claiming people outside Banks County voted illegally. He included Sheriff Speed, who insisted he lived in Banks County.
We wanted our children to attend school in Banks County. Therefore, we moved our house down the hill.
Karen Burry, the head of the Banks County GIS department, backed the sheriff up. She testified she created this map that shows the boundary line curving around Sheriff Speed's home. She called it a kink in the line.
There are a sufficient number of votes that were illegal.
The judge ruled Gassaway had proven there were enough illegal votes to order a new election. But he also ruled he found evidence that Sheriff Speed lived in Banks County and had not voted illegally.
We feel completely vindicated.
Dan Gassaway lost that new election. End of debate? Not even close. Gassaway kept